What's up, leaders? Scott Matthew here, excited to be back with another live training. Excited if you're listening, if you are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. It says a lot. It says a lot about you that you're spending time investing in yourself, that you're spending time saying, you know what, like I want to go all in on myself. I want to be more than just a student. I want to do more than just average, do more than what's expected. And so I'm going to go out and learn. So it says so much about you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing who you are and who you want to be. And so that says so much again about you, but I'm excited to get into this because so much about students that I work with from all over the country is they want more for themselves, but then they encounter so many limits. They encounter so much doubt. They just find so much resistance in life. And it's because like there's so many limits out there. And I know that everybody has their own story. Everyone has their own, experiences and things like that of like, what upbringing they have, the family they were born with, the situation they have, the school they go to, the town that they went to. I know all of that. I'm a product of that. I get it because I know my own story, that I grew up in this tiny little town 2 hours from anything. 2 hours from a Target, 2 hours from a mall, 2 hours from, the next big city, like that has more than, tens and thousands of people, that kind of thing. Like tiny little town, just in the middle of nowhere. And so that meant my school was just a tiny little school with some phenomenal teachers that were there just doing their best for the students, but resources and people that had gone on to get PhDs and all that kind of stuff, it was very hard to find, few and far between. To be able to find those things like that. So naturally, the expectations weren't very high. And how do you do it anyway? How do you still have, I just felt naturally I had this drive to just do more, to want to be more, to achieve more, just more. And I didn't even know what it meant, but I just wanted more. And so now we're trying to do that for others. But how I was able to get through that was one of many ways, right? And that's what we talk about so much here, especially things that I talk about in my academy with those students. But one of those the biggest ways is mental toughness, of being mentally tough. And something that you have to always remember is that your mental game is more important than the hard skills that you have, the books that you have, the resources that you do have. If you grow up, your dad has a super fancy library in the back room with every phenomenal book in the world. If you don't have a mindset or the mental toughness to go out and seek to learn, then they might as well be in a different language. You might as well not even have the books at all. Okay? And so that's something that we have to understand, that your mindset, your mental toughness is huge for your success. One of my favorite quotes comes from Vince Lombardi. He's an old school NFL coach. He coached in the NFL a long time ago. If you're not familiar with football, that's kind of the history on that. But the quote is, mental toughness is essential to success. And he said that a long time ago. But even still today, more and more people are catching on to that. You have these influencers or business coaches or whatever, in all sorts of different worlds. But they say mental toughness is essential to success. And it's been true. It was true then, it's true now. And it's true for you. Okay, whatever you're doing, whatever goals you have, it doesn't matter what it is. You want to be a nurse, you want to be a race car driver, you want to go and be a mom, you want to go be a kindergarten teacher, whatever it might be, mental toughness is still essential to you succeeding in that. Because everybody experiences roadblocks. Everyone experiences these major setbacks. Even the big successful people, you think about, I'm a big sports guy, so a sports example, LeBron James, okay? LeBron James went to the Heat, and that first year there was all this hype of the Heat are gonna win championships, oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing. Well, they had a huge setback. They got beat by the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. And it was that next year that they did win the championship. And it's so easy to excuse away success when you don't get it the first time. It's what the average do. It's what the majority of people do. They say, I didn't get it. Man, it must not be for me, right? So LeBron James could have said, I didn't win in Cleveland. I tried. I went to the finals once. I tried. I didn't get it. I go to Miami. This is my chance. This is my chance. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh man, I guess it's not for me. I guess it's not. That's a mindset that so many people have. You think about it in a situation that could be more realistic for you or me. where, you know, like you apply to go to that big top tier university. You say, you know what, this one's it, and you didn't get in. And you're like, dang, man, that's all right, I'm gonna give myself one more chance. Like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna apply to this other school. Like, it wasn't my top choice, but man, I'm gonna apply to that one. And then you don't get in there either. Then what do? Oh, college isn't for me, right? Like, oh man, I'm just not meant for it. Like, are you joking me? Okay, recover. Mental toughness helps you to keep going, to keep seeking that out so that you can go and get those results that you want. And there's a whole other thing that I could talk about of why, you know, I feel like it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what school you go to, but that'll be another episode, another training. We'll come back to that. But you think of other examples, like in the business world, okay? Steve Jobs was like literally just excused, right? Just removed from his own company before he had his major comeback and boosted Apple to what it is today. You know, and like what we know of Apple is because of part 2 of Steve Jobs, not necessarily part 1. Obviously that was a huge part, but like in his leadership and the development of the business of Apple, made huge strides in part 2. And so that's something to think about. The major setback, okay, of getting like fired from your own company. Are you kidding me? Okay, you think of like a book example, right? Like there's a Harry Potter series. That was something I loved, those books and the movies growing up. But J.K. Rowling, the author, she was denied over a dozen times before Harry Potter was ever sent to print. Over a dozen times. Can you imagine like having this idea and going and getting told no 12 times, 12 plus times? You know, I don't know the exact number, but I know it was over a dozen. And so just to you know, to hype yourself up, go and with this big ask and this big presentation that you'd worked on so much time and time again, no. Do it again, no. Do it again, no. I mean, you think like after 3 or 4 times, the majority of people have given up a long time. They have put that idea up on the shelf and have excused it from their minds. They don't even feel like it's a consideration anymore. But J.K. Rowling had mental toughness, and she continued to push and push and push and push and push until she got her yes. And I mean, man, like it's incredible what she has done and how much of a difference that she's made. I mean, I encourage you to check that out. If you like the books, you'll love her story of like what she's done with the money that she's made. But it came from mental toughness. So to find the success you want, you have to stop giving up. That's, I mean, the one thing that you must give up, a major limit that you must nix is giving up, okay? Give up on giving up, right? But the only way you can guarantee yourself that you will never accomplish a goal is to stop trying for it. And so I've got 4 ways that I want to explain to you of how to boost your mental toughness. Because like, even though, you know, to get biology on you, your brain is an organ, but your mind is a muscle. Okay, your mind is a muscle, and just like if you want to be jacked up, super cut biceps or abs or whatever, you got to work out a lot. Well, your mind is the same way. To build mental toughness, it comes with practice. It comes through repetition, it comes through working, and it comes through taking care of it. Okay, so I got 4 ways to strengthen your mental toughness, and these are things that you can all take action on today. These aren't things that are just like, yeah, like just be better, you know, like be more, have more mental toughness, and then leave it at that. Like that's ridiculous. And if you know me, you know we're getting into tactics, and it's all about what action you're gonna take. So if you can write these down, if you can like make notes and take action items, write those things down that you feel motivated to do so that you can draw closer to actually following through. If you're like driving, if you're not able to take notes, just try to remember these, come back to it, and we can be able to jump in for this good stuff. All right. So that the first strategy, okay, the first strategy is to memorize things more. Memorize more. That's number 1. Because you know, you think of today's world, it's so easy to find information, right? Like you've got Siri, Alexa, you know, your thumbs, you've got your smartphone, and you can find anything today. The internet is incredible. You can find the answer to any fact or trivia in minutes. It's amazing. Like Google's become a verb, right? Like it's just like, oh yeah, just Google it. Like no big deal. It's natural now. But at the same time, it presents a little bit of a challenge. If you allow yourself to be solely dependent on only Google, you lose an ability to be trusted in like relationships and work settings. And not like, it's like a good, better, best type of thing. Like somebody that can always be counted on to go look things up, that's cool. Like it's good to have those kinds of people around. But that person doesn't necessarily matter in that equation, right? I could be the one to look it up. All you're doing is saving me a couple of minutes. But instead, if you're somebody that I can go to and you already know, you have already remembered those things, like that brings more value. It brings more value. So just challenge yourself to memorize things more. Okay, it's okay to look things up, but then challenge yourself to remember. So I'm not saying like don't ever Google anything ever again. How are you supposed to learn? How are you supposed to memorize something in the first place, right? But look it up and then try to remember that. Challenge yourself not to just look at it and say, oh, the answer is this, and then poof, it's gone forever. Obviously some things that's gonna be fine, but challenge yourself to memorize things more. Challenge yourself to remember. Now you could be saying like, well, Scott, how the heck does this strengthen my mental toughness? Well, challenging yourself to do things yourself is kind of that big mental toughness thing. Is that you don't have to rely on somebody else and say like, oh, I'll just wait and ask my friend Tiffany. I'll wait and ask Sally. I'll wait and ask Nick, whatever. But challenging yourself to do things yourself. It may not come naturally of being able to find that quick answer. It might not always be the first result, even though Google's trying really hard to make that possible for you, right? So know that like you will need to have levels of independence and expertise in the work that you end up doing, whatever it is, whatever career field, or just being at home, being a mom or a dad, like whatever that might be. But there's gonna be levels of independence and expertise that you want, and you do not want to always be the person asking questions. Seek to be someone who others turn to for the answers. That makes you a valuable person to have around. That makes you someone that everybody always wants to turn to get help with answering questions, getting more insight and things like that. And that's when more opportunities come. And I promise that's true for any career field. It's true. And so that's an incredible opportunity for you, but it starts with strategy number 1, memorize more. That's something you can just take action on. It just happens in your day-to-day routines, but memorize more, okay? Strategy number 2, promote more positivity, okay? Promote more positivity. Here's a real life truth, and it's also a limit that a lot of people have. But you listen to yourself way too much, and you don't talk to yourself nearly enough. Okay, I want to say that again so you can kind of sink in. You listen to yourself way too much and don't talk to yourself nearly enough. Think about what that means. Think about what that means. You listen to your doubts and your fears way too much instead of talking back to yourself and telling yourself what you're gonna do. And that happens so much. You get tired, you get frustrated. J.K. Rowling gets mad because the 6th time somebody said no. And instead of listening to herself, of saying, I'm gonna give up, I'm done, she told herself, no, I gotta go one more. I gotta go one more. I gotta go one more. Okay, man, like I get fired up when I think about that. But promote more positivity with yourself. It starts internally. You have to be able to do that. Stop only listening to yourself. That's why people give up. That's why they settle. Start talking to yourself more. Promote more positivity within yourself to produce more results. This starts by just inserting more positivity into your routine. So here's the action that you can take. Most skip over these important moments without like a second thought. They just jump into things. And that's why the results skip right over them, right? Like that's why they get average results. And so here's some actionable things that you can do. When you start a work shift, okay, what do you think about? When you think about these kind of things. When you sit down for a test or begin studying or walk up to speak with an advisor or your teacher to ask them a question or for some help or whatever. What do you tell yourself? What story do you tell yourself? Build into your routines, that means doing it every single time, by telling yourself more positive things before beginning. Okay, and so that's like that teacher that you're gonna go ask something for. Are you already telling yourself that they're gonna say no? Are you already telling yourself that they won't budge, or like that they're not gonna help or that they're mean or that they don't care about you or anything like that? Okay, at work, are you already telling yourself that this work shift is gonna stink? That this work shift is gonna be boring or that it's gonna be a nightmare or whatever? Like, what are you telling yourself? And shift that to be more positive. Okay, shift that to be more positive. Does that seem fluffy to you? Maybe it does. But just get over it. Okay, and that's it. It's good because it's going to bring you better results. It will. Positivity will promote more results, way more than any kind of negative attitude ever will. So insert more statements that start with like I will, I can, or I am, or something similar like that. Before you start performing, prime your mind with positivity. And it's gonna be awesome to see those results of just like those small little tweaks that you can do. When you take that test, like I'm ready for this test. When you sit down, the teacher's handing out the packet or whatever, you're at the testing center, like however it is that you're doing. When you sit down, I'm ready, let's go. Okay, I'm ready, let's go. And think about some of those phrases that you can say to yourself, but do that, okay? Start taking action on that. And that's something, again, that you can do today. If you're driving to work right now, you can do that right now. If you're going to school, your next class, first thing tomorrow, whatever it is, promote more positivity by telling yourself, not just listening to yourself. All right, strategy number 3, start and finish a project you don't want to do, okay? Start and finish a project you don't want to do. In your life, you're always gonna be faced with projects, challenges that you're not gonna, like, that's not gonna be your favorite, okay? Like you always will. There's things like the jobs that I've had, even in just like running my own business, like all of those things, there are always projects or tasks that you don't enjoy. Even just like living in your house, there are things that you don't always love doing, whether that's taking out the trash, or doing dishes, whatever, okay? There's always gonna be like maybe a report that you have to put together, you know, go research this new thing more and more and more and more, okay? It's never ending, that's just a fact, accept it. But so how you can strengthen your mental toughness right now, before all that stuff comes in your career, is by starting and finishing projects that you consider things that you don't want to do. And so now think about like examples for this. This can literally be not work related, not leadership related or anything like that, but just straight home related. Okay, but pick one and start it. There's gonna be things that you feel like you need to do, but like things that you know that you must do because of the results that it will bring, but you need to start the habit now to find the mental toughness to get things like this done. So just pick one, start it, and then finish, like follow through. That's where the mental toughness comes in. So this could be something as simple as like cleaning out the mysterious pile under your bed. You know, the stuff that's just like racked up there and you're just like, I don't really know what's under there, but it's stuff. Clean it out, okay? Maybe that's that project. Maybe it's like completing that last item on the summer chore list. Like, I don't know what your home life is like, but maybe, hey, there's something there to clean out that garage or to finally rid yourself. Even like on phones, I always love this because it's like total pet peeve of mine, but like some people have like thousands of emails in their inbox. Maybe that's one to just commit saying, you know what, I'm going to get through all of those and then do it, okay? Follow through on the action. But it could just be identifying a task that you don't necessarily want to do, but one that you know will bring you a good result, then do it. Okay, do it. It doesn't have to be like some kind of save the world task, but the practice, right? Again, your mind is a muscle, so we gotta boost this mental toughness. We gotta help it grow. And so pick a task that could be cleaning your room, whatever, like doing the dishes, cleaning out the garage, cleaning your car, whatever, okay? Organize your closet. I have no idea what it's gonna be. But pick one and do it. See it through. And just practice with tasks like that, because one day you're gonna get things that your paycheck will rely on, that your job will rely on, or some future promotion that you don't know what the result will be, but it will rely on you taking action on that project you don't necessarily want to do. And that's where mental toughness can save you, because you'll do it anyway. And that's where it comes today. So, I mean, you think about like if you're in school, like doing that assignment, working on that project, even if you got a late start on it, starting that paper and seeing it through to finish and making sacrifices along the way, not because you want to, but because you know you need to, because you know you need the result that it's gonna bring, okay? So that's that third one. Start and finish a project you don't want to do, okay? Last one, last strategy number 4, wait for it. Okay? Don't wait for it as in wait for the strategy. Strategy number 4 is wait for it. A bad habit that limits your mental toughness so much is just automatically giving yourself rewards when you haven't earned them. Like you gotta nix that limit right now. And that's one that's just so common, where, you know, you buy something for yourself that's cool, like whether, I mean, that could be something easy, like your favorite snack, you know, a piece of cake, something on Amazon or whatever. But now, like, try to train yourself, and this is such a huge thing for mental toughness, train yourself that there needs to be a task completed before you give yourself that, okay? And it's not anybody doing it to you, okay? So you can't blame your teacher or your mom or me or anyone, okay? You just need to give your own rules to yourself. Like, man, I really want that amazing selfie light so that my Instagram can go way up, right? But before I get it, I need to finish this project for my chemistry class or whatever, my AP history class, like whatever it is. But go ahead and assign rewards for yourself, but then do not give it to yourself until the task is done and that it was done at the level that you wanted it, okay? And develop that for yourself. I had a student, this was like 5 years ago, a student that I worked with, that she said Wednesdays were her hardest days. This was a college student. She had just had class after class after class after class, and then like a group project, and she always worked Wednesday evenings. And so she said like every week she would buy herself a box of, I can't even remember what it was, like cosmic brownies, like something kind of quirky like that. And she committed to herself that she could only have one at the end of a Wednesday if she had followed through on everything. If she went to every class, she was present and intentional in her work shift, and that she felt good. She had developed her mind, her muscle, her mental toughness to a point where she was really good at holding herself accountable. If she missed a class, if she wasn't present in her work shift or whatever, if for whatever reason she didn't meet the result that she wanted, she did not reward herself. And that is huge. Huge. We've kind of fallen out of touch in the last few years, and so I'm not sure exactly what she's doing now, but I know that she's on a more successful path than she would have been compared to students that have that same schedule that don't go to class regularly but still reward themselves with things. And so you have to be able, because at the end of the day, like I'm all for like giving yourself rewards. Like have a test to study for, go ahead and bring that candy bar as a reward for after. Just wait until after to give it to yourself. Okay, so if you never tried this, try it. Okay, that's the only way you're gonna see if it can work, is you have to try it. You won't know already by just hearing it. You have to try it. And so think of something you regularly do because you enjoy it. That could be, say running or, playing a video game or something like that, sorting your spoon collection, like, I don't know. But give that hobby to yourself as a reward for work well done. Try that. Okay, if you love running, like wait to run until after you do your homework, like as a reward, or the morning after. And reward yourself with things you enjoy so that you'll do the things that you don't, but you need those results. Okay, and so that's something that's not necessarily typical, but you also don't want typical results, okay? You don't want typical results. So if it doesn't feel natural to do any of these things, don't worry, that means there's growth ready to be had, okay? If you don't embrace growth, you'll never achieve the growth and the goals that you have in store for yourself. So you gotta start taking action, start doing, okay? I know it's more, but you want more. You want more than what your friends just like average is gonna give you. You want more than just the average expectation that people have. So again, really fast, our 4 ways to strengthen your mental toughness. 1, memorize things more. 2, promote more positivity. Stop listening to yourself, start talking to yourself. Number 3, start and finish a project you don't want to do. And number 4, wait for it. Okay, you've got to boost your mental toughness. You've got to be ready for those setbacks, because the crazy success is just on the other side of one of them. You just have to keep going so that it can come, so that it can actually happen. Nobody can do it for you, only you can. So go get it. Go get it. And I'm so excited to hear what you think about this. I'm so excited to see, what your thoughts are. And so please, let me know. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know how you try to strive to boost your mental toughness. Drop it in the comments below. Thank you so much for always spending some time with us, and get out there